Hey guys, Neely here, and today I'm coming in to talk about one of the things that I have incorporated into my diet life and that has really helped me as far as getting the scale moving and getting my fat loss to start again. Like I told you in my last check-in video, I have been the same weight for like a year since my daughter was born, and just no matter what I did, I could not get the scale to move, and I just was really stuck, really plateaued, and my body wouldn't respond to the different things that I tried to throw at it to get the fat loss going again. But in the last month or so, after doing a lot of work on my health and just getting myself rebalanced, I have lost 5 pounds, and it has been an effortless 5-pound loss. So I have not been starving myself or feeling deprived or anything like that. It's just I feel like I've gotten my body balanced, and now it is allowing me to eat less naturally, and the weight is coming off. So I have several different things that I have incorporated. I have drawn from several different books and experts and philosophies, and kind of pulled in what is working, what will work for me or is working for me, and I wanted to share all those things with you. So I'm going to be talking about the first one today, but keep in mind that this isn't the only thing that I have done. I have done a lot of things all together, so I want to share all of those things, but it's a lot of stuff, so I don't want to do it in one video. So I'm kind of breaking it up into different videos. So yeah, just keep that in mind when I'm telling you about this book that I read and the supplements I started taking. It's not like this is the only thing I did and that is the one key that has caused my weight to go down. It is just one of the tools that I use that has been very effective. And I'm just sharing all the different tools that I used so that you can kind of see if it's something that might work for you. Disclaimer, of course, I'm not an expert, I'm not a doctor, I'm just me, and I am only searching for what will work for my body, and I am 100% convinced that everybody's body is different, and what works for one person may have a very different effect on another person. So I'm just sharing my experience, letting you know what I'm doing. So the book that I'm going to be talking about today is The Diet Cure by Julia Ross. And it says the 8-step program to rebalance your body chemistry and end food cravings, weight problems, and mood swings now. Ooh, doesn't that sound wonderful? I actually bought this book several years ago. It's been out for a while. It's had a couple different editions, but I bought it several years ago, and I kind of half-heartedly started the supplements at one time or a couple times. But the thing is you cannot do the supplements recommended while you are pregnant or while you are breastfeeding. And over the last 5-6 years, I have been either pregnant or breastfeeding the majority of the time. I've had like a few months in between, you know, finishing breastfeeding and getting pregnant again. And so I have had this in the back of my mind, but it's not something that I have really gotten into and done wholeheartedly until now. Basically, when I finished breastfeeding Renee, and that was about almost 4 months ago now, 3 or 4 months ago, after I weaned her, I had this in my mind and I knew it was something I wanted to do. So I jumped right in and started with the supplements, and so I've been on them for about 3 months now. And the great thing about the supplements, most of them that are recommended, the amino acid supplements that are recommended, you don't have to take them forever. It's not something that you take and that your body gets dependent on and whoops, and you have to take forever. Basically, you take them until your body stores get built up again, and then I think how it works is your body recognizes that this is a healthy level of these amino acids for you to feel good, and so then it will maintain those levels on its own as long as you're eating a good diet and getting plenty of protein in your diet and all that. I have been on the supplements for almost 3 months, and actually I've gone off of a couple of them, and I'm still on a couple of them because I'm still seeing benefits from a couple, but then the other ones I was taking and started seeing some negative symptoms, and that's what she says in the book, is if you start feeling these negative symptoms, that probably means you are you have enough and you can stop taking them, and you should still feel good if you stop taking them. So if you stop taking them and you start feeling bad again, or your bad symptoms come back, then you want to go back on them. But if you go off of them and you still continue to feel good, then that's a sign that your body has what it needs and it's able to maintain it on its own. I wanted to just go ahead and read a little part from the introduction, and it is the part that resonated with me, and it was like, I read it and I was like, don't get your hopes up. This sounds too good to be true. Don't get your hopes up. I know that it will resonate with a lot of people who have dieted in the past and struggled with emotional eating, with binging, with diet, with weight gain. This is not going to be like any diet book you have ever read. We won't mention calories except to forbid you from eating too few. I won't tell you to tune into your real appetite, because I know that if you could have done that, you would have a long time ago. I won't tell you to discipline yourself, because I know that your weight and eating habits are not the result of laziness, gluttony, or because you don't want to exercise or eat well. Many of you are trapped inside a body that is malfunctioning. Your body needs help. Years of dieting, psychotherapy, and the best pep talks about accepting your body as is can't help much when what you really need is a biochemical overhaul. Usually the clients that come to Recovery Systems, which is her clinic where she worked, because she worked with drug addicts actually, and that's how she found out about how this works for eating disorders, because it works for drug addicts to get off of drugs as well. So usually the clients that come to Recovery Systems, that's the name of her clinic, the clinic that I direct, have already tried therapy. If they haven't, or they need more counseling, we provide that service. We educate them about their health and encourage them to accept the body that their genes have programmed for them. But when that body is a wreck, psychology and educational approaches aren't enough. Fortunately, we have now learned how to identify and repair the underlying physical imbalances that have been neglected for so long. We used to think that dieting was the cure. Many of us still hope that the next diet will really do it. But more of us have begun to suspect, or to be outright convinced, that dieting has actually become a bigger problem than weight gain. We know now that dieting leaves us in worse shape than before we started. Our health, energy, mood, and weight have all deteriorated because of dieting, and yet we can't quit. We know no other escape from the weight gain that was triggered by our last diet. What we really need now is to be cured of dieting. We need to find an entirely new way to deal with our weight. So that's just a little teaser for you. That resonated with me. I have been stuck in that dieting cycle before, and it's very frustrating, and it's like you just keep going back to what the only thing that you think is an option, and end up in a worse place afterwards than you started in. So this definitely, when I read it, I was like, just sounds too good to be true, sounds too good to be true, but it definitely has helped. So what she has in here, I'll just give you a quick idea of what the book offers. There's a questionnaire, and actually I believe this questionnaire is online as well, and you just go through all of your symptoms, and it talks about what kinds of foods you crave, your energy, a whole bunch of different things, and you score yourself. And then there are 8 different imbalances that that you kind of decide which ones you might have. And the 8 imbalances are, let me find them. Number 1 is depleted brain chemistry. Number 2 is malnutrition due to low-calorie dieting. Number 3 is unstable blood sugar, carbohydrate addiction, hypoglycemia, diabetes, and adrenal exhaustion. Number 4 is unrecognized low thyroid function. Number 5 is food addictions and allergic reactions. Number 6 is hormonal havoc. Number 7, yeast overgrowth. And number 8, fatty acid deficiency. So you go through the questionnaire and you kind of figure out which of these 8 that you have. And then there's chapters for each one. And then there's chapters for the supplement program that goes along with each one of the imbalances. So I have kind of dealt with a few of these things on my own before reading this book. So like the yeast overgrowth, I definitely had that back in the past. And I used to get chronic urinary tract infections, and I had a lot more skin issues. I still have a few lingering, but I had a lot before. And I know a lot of that was due to yeast overgrowth and like candida. And I did a really heavy candida cleanse a few years ago, and I think that dealt with a lot of those issues. Malnutrition due to low-calorie dieting, I definitely experienced that in the past when I was kind of in the diet cycle, and I feel like I've kind of gotten through that. I don't have those symptoms anymore because, like, when I was pregnant, I wasn't low-calorie dieting. I think the pregnancies probably helped quite a bit because I made sure to nourish myself really well when I was pregnant, of course, and so I think that I kind of work through those issues, the low-calorie dieting effects through the pregnancies and the breastfeeding process, and nourishing myself there. But some of the supplements kind of overlap between the different things. So I have been taking some of the supplements that are from that chapter, and they're definitely helping. So anyways, but that's not one that I was focusing on. The thyroid function, I have had my thyroid checked several times, and it's always in ideal ranges. Hormonal havoc, I haven't had bad problems with that. Fatty acid deficiency, I've not had problems with that because I come from a low carb background, so I have never been on like a vegetarian or super low fat diet for an extended period of time. That hasn't been my issue. The ones that I have been focusing on are the number 1, depleted brain chemistry, and that's what causes emotional eating, or one of the causes of emotional eating. And then also number 3, which is the unstable blood sugar, carbohydrate addiction, hypoglycemia, diabetes, and adrenal exhaustion. I've talked about my blood sugar issues and struggling with keeping those in an ideal range, and then also the adrenal exhaustion. I don't have diabetes or hypoglycemia. And I wouldn't say at this point I have carbohydrate addiction, but I definitely have that tendency if I were to, lose control and go crazy on eating, carbohydrate addiction would come back very quickly. So those are the 2 that I've really been focused on. Oh, also the food addiction and allergic reactions I've kind of dealt with before going on different like the paleo diet and elimination diets that I've done in the past. I've kind of dealt with all those, and I know which foods are good for me and which ones that I try to stay away from. So those are not the ones I focused on. So the 2 that I focused on were depleted brain chemistry and the unstable blood sugar. And the supplements for, I'll tell you the ones that I have been taking. So in each of the chapters on the supplement program, she has this little checklist where it tells you how much to take and at what times. So I can't really show it to you while I'm reading it, but the ones that I have taken that have been very helpful for me is the L-glutamine, and I started taking that about 500 milligrams 3 times a day, and I'm actually down to taking about 500 milligrams just once in the morning, and I'm still seeing good results from that, so I feel like that's a good level for me. And then GABA, I started out taking 500 milligrams 3 times a day, and also the 5-HTP, 100 milligrams 3 times a day, but I found that I would take it like in the early afternoon, and then I would have to take a nap really quickly, and I'd take this super deep nap, and it felt like it was too much. So I just started taking that in the evening, and having it help me sleep. I also still taking the L-tyrosine. That has been really good for me. I take 2,000 milligrams in the morning. I was doing 3 times a day, but I've reduced it down to just the morning, and I'm still seeing good benefit from that. And then DLPA, I was taking that. I got a bottle of it, and I took it, used up the whole bottle, and then I didn't get another bottle. I just kind of wanted to see how I do without it, and I was still seeing great benefits and feeling great, so I didn't continue taking that one. So basically I've been taking for the glutamine, the GABA, 5-HTP, and the tyrosine. And the GABA and the 5-HTP are the ones that I have stopped because I was taking it and it was helping me sleep before bed. I'd take it before bed and it helped me sleep. But then all of a sudden I started having trouble sleeping, and I was not able to sleep for like a week, and it was really awful. Insomnia is a really horrible thing, and I feel sorry for the people that have to deal with it, because I was miserable that whole week, and I stopped taking it after that because I was like, maybe I've had enough of that and I don't need it anymore. And so I stopped taking it and I started sleeping like a baby again. So those ones I'm finished with, and I will only take them again if I start feeling like I'm not, you know, calming down like I should, and see if they might be a benefit again at some point. But hopefully my body is at the point where it's able to keep my happy hormone levels stable, and that I won't need those again. So right now I'm still taking the glutamine and the tyrosine, and I'm doing those in the morning. The glutamine, I think I'm just going to continue to take forever. It's really, really good for you. It's good for your gut health. It's good for sugar cravings. It's just a really good supplement. I don't think you get to the point with that one where you need to cut it out. It's just a good one to add forever. And it's super, super cheap. It is popular among bodybuilders, and so there's a huge market for it. And I have this giant jar of powder. It doesn't taste like anything. I just put a little scoop in my mouth and it dissolves, and I've had this jar forever, and it was really cheap when I bought it. So that's a great one, super cheap. So those are the ones that I was taking for the depleted brain chemistry, and that is, I mean, the difference I notice when I don't take those two supplements in the morning, as far as my appetite and cravings, is really big. There were a few times where I just got lazy and I forgot to take them. And, you know, like usually if I take them, I'll have my breakfast, and I usually have a pretty low calorie breakfast. And then I'd be fine until lunch. But if I forget to take them, I will be hungry at 10 a.m. and I will be like really needing to eat right away if I forget to take them. So I definitely notice a difference, and I will continue to take them until I notice that I'm able to make it all the way to lunch without the cravings and the hunger without them. And then the other imbalance that I was working on was the unstable blood sugar and adrenal exhaustion. And she has it broken down into like different stages of adrenal issues, and mine weren't super severe, so I just started with the very basic ones up here. And actually GABA is on this one too, so like I said, there's some overlap between the different supplements and the different chapters. So I was already taking the GABA for the brain chemistry, so the only one I really added was the pantothenic acid. A lot of these things I just read, and so I don't really know how to say them, but I know the word, I know what it looks like. But pantothenic acid, I believe. And I've been taking that, and that one I don't notice a dramatic, immediate result from, but I haven't noticed any negative effects either. So I'm still taking that, and I'll continue to take it probably until I finish the bottle, and then finish and see how stop and see how I do. So, and then I was just going to add any of these if I felt like I wasn't making progress, but I feel like I am making progress. So I'm not adding any of the other supplements that she recommends for the deeper stages of adrenal fatigue. Oh, the last one on here, there was 3 up here for the basic, and it's Calms Forte for mild relaxation, and I wasn't having trouble with relaxation, and when I was taking the GABA and the 5-HTP, they were doing great for me, so I didn't get that. I've used that before and didn't notice a huge difference, so that one I just skipped. Okay, so that is what I have been taking, and I will put down below all of the supplements, the names of the supplements, so you can find them. I'll also give you a link to Amazon, just using one of my Amazon affiliate links. So if you guys want to find them on Amazon and use my link and give me a little kickback, that would be nice. But yeah, so I don't have to spell them all out for you. If you don't have to write them down, I'll just put them down below. So I just wanted to give you a few more observations about my how I felt taking them and taking the supplements, and just kind of the benefits that I've noticed. In the book, they talk a lot. She talks a lot about immediately people feeling the effects of the supplements, like, because she talks a lot about the drug addicts that would take the supplements and immediately feel like, you know, release from their need for drugs, or like calming down or all that stuff. I didn't notice that dramatic of a result as far as immediately taking them. And that could just be because I wasn't as severe of a depleted brain chemistry as some people are. So I just continued to take them and kind of just didn't notice a whole lot right at first. But what I did notice after a few weeks is I noticed that I was eating less. And I noticed that I wasn't as hungry and that I wasn't thinking about food as much, which is a great thing to notice. If you've ever dealt with emotional eating or being obsessed with food, that kind of thing, when you think back and you realize I have not been thinking about food or really caring that much or overeating at all, it's a really cool thing. So I was like, one day I was like, I think I'm eating less. I really do think I'm eating less. And I have not counted calories in a very long time, because it was extremely frustrating for me. Because I'm at the place where I do believe that to lose weight, you need some kind of a calorie deficit, or to lose fat, I should say. To lose fat consistently, I believe you do need a calorie deficit. Some people don't believe that. I know that you can lose weight as far as like inflammation and stuff just from changing the types of foods you eat and getting your hormones balanced. But for me, at least, I'll just say for me, to lose fat with where my body is at now, hormonally and inflammation-wise, for me to lose weight and to lose fat, I need to have a calorie deficit. And I was extremely frustrated every time I would count calories, because I was eating to hunger and I was trying to eat what my body was telling me to eat as far as the amount. And I would count my calories and I would be so frustrated by how high the calories were. And I wasn't binging, I wasn't overeating in that I wasn't going beyond my hunger and the amount that I felt like I needed, but I still knew that it was too much as far as being able to lose weight. So it was extremely frustrating, and every time I'd count my calories, I would just feel like, I need to eat less, I need to eat less, and it would just be this completely devastating, depriving mentality, like, I need to eat less, but I can't. I know I need this food because that's what my body is telling me, and I'm not going to go against my body and starve myself. But I felt like, what am I going to do? My body's telling me I need to eat this food, but I can't eat all this food and expect to lose weight. So I was in a really frustrated place, and so I just did not count calories at all. It was a trigger for me. It would send me back into the bad mental space of the whole dieting and deprivation thing. And so I did not count calories for a long time. And so then after I'd taken these supplements for a while, and I noticed, I was like, I think I'm eating less. I think I'm eating less. And so I decided I'm just gonna count my calories. And it was kind of like, at the end of the day, I would think back over all of the food I ate, and I would count up all my calories. And sure enough, they would be lower than I've ever consistently kept them without, starving myself. They would be 1,500, 1,700, even as low as 1,300 sometimes. And there were some days where they were higher, like 2,100, but still, for me, 2,100 is low when I'm eating to hunger. Before it'd be like easily 2,500, 2,700 if I wasn't restricting myself. So to see that, it was just like the angels were singing, and I was like, what? I'm eating, I'm satisfied, I feel full after my meals, and I'm only eating 1,500 calories? what? This is impossible. This has never happened. I have been a big eater my entire life. I've always liked big portions. I've always needed more than what I feel like other people need to feel satisfied. And so to all of a sudden have my calorie count be so low, and I say so low, but I mean in a low enough place to lose weight without feeling deprived, was a pretty amazing thing. So I'm counting calories again, and it's like no big deal because I'm not doing it to force my calories lower or deprive myself. I'm doing it just to see what my hunger, where my hunger level is at, and how much I end up eating. And it's just good information now. I'm not using it as a deprivation tool. I also am not obsessing about food. It's like I can go several hours between meals and not be hungry. Before, it'd be like after a couple hours, I'd be thinking about food and be like, dang it, I just ate 2 hours ago. I should not be hungry yet. And then I'd have to, like, stop myself, or I'd go get a snack or whatever. And that's pretty much gone. I mean, as long as I eat 300 or 400 calories at a meal, 500 calories at a meal, I can go 4 hours, 5 hours and not be hungry. And that is so freeing, to not have to think about food every few hours. The other thing, I talked about this on my last check-in video, I can partake in treat food and eat stuff with the family that is not healthy and that I would not want to make a regular part of my diet, but I can eat a little bit and I can be done. And it doesn't throw me off. It doesn't make me want to binge. It doesn't, make me just eat everything in the house for the entire day and then go back on a diet the next day. I'm completely stable as far as my food intake. Like I was telling, I talked all about this on my other video, but I have been able to eat pizza. I drank alcohol. I had cupcakes. I had waffles. I had cookies. I had sandwiches. And it's even, I even ate like white bread. Like, I don't do that. And that has always like completely destroyed my day. And I felt fine. I mean, it's not like the best food for my body to make me feel super healthy and vibrant, but I was balanced and I was able to make it through no problem. And it didn't throw me off. It didn't give me cravings. I was just able to eat it and then continue on with my regular diet after that. And I didn't feel the need to continue eating it or anything. So anyways, that is huge for me. That is so huge for me. I have never experienced that ability to have moderation before. It was always, I have to just cut all of this out because one bite is gonna set me off. But I'm not that way anymore. So, okay, this video is already very, very long and I don't wanna bore you to tears, but I hope that helps give you an idea of what the diet cure is all about. And if you have any questions, put them down in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer them. I highly, highly recommend reading this book. It is excellent, so much good information. If you have struggled with overeating, emotional eating, your mood. She also has a book called The Mood Cure. So if you're not needing to lose weight or food isn't your problem, but you struggle with depression or different brain chemistry issues, definitely check that out as well. It has a lot of the same information, I believe, but this is just mostly focused on diet and food stuff. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions. I will put a link down below to this book on Amazon, one of my affiliate links. So if you want to support my channel and you're planning on buying this book, if you could use my affiliate link, that would be so fantastic. I have been exceedingly blessed by people that have used my link and do their Amazon shopping using my link. Because anything you buy on Amazon using my link, I get a little kickback of it, and it doesn't cost you anything extra, and it's just a huge blessing. So thank you to everyone who has been using my link, and you can find it down below if you want to use it. And yeah, I think that's all I have to say about the diet cure. Let me know if you have any questions and I'll do my best to answer them. I will talk to you guys again soon with more of the different tweaks that I've done and the things that I've learned to help get the weight going again, the fat loss going again, I should say. I will talk to you later. Bye, guys.